So welcome back to the Football Fitness Blueprint. Today we look at endurance. When endurance is spoken about, we can look at endurance in a number of different ways. So I don't want you to think of it as just general fitness. Okay, there's family, friends, teammates who might have general fitness, but when you come to actually how they use that on a football pitch, it can be completely different. So endurance for football has to be looking at a little bit differently from just general endurance. The general side of things might happen in the off-season, and there's nothing wrong with that. It gives your body a chance to rejuvenate, recover, and get away from the constant stress of football movements. But then as we get closer to the in-season, we have to start making our training a little bit more like the demands of football. The demands of football, when it comes to endurance, include a lot of distance, high heart rates, sprints, different changes of direction, jumps and tackles. We have to move fast, we have to recover from those fast movements and be able to rejuvenate our energy to be able to move fast once again and repeat that for 90 minutes. And you have to do that, most importantly, under your team's playing style and under your coach's instructions for your position. So that is real football fitness. When it comes to the endurance itself, we want to build up a big endurance bank to make the game feel easy. And we're going to use a financial analogy. So if you imagine this endurance bank, we want to have a big salary. And the big salary funds all of your spending. The bigger this salary is, the less stressful it is to pay debts. And this is very similar to your aerobic energy, where we want that big aerobic base that we often speak about that's going to help us last 90 minutes, help us cover distance, and it's going to provide us also the recovery to be able to do those fast, explosive movements. Without that, we'll be explosive and it will take us a long time to recover. Next up, we've got the cash in the wallet. Now, cash in the wallet is what we'll look at as something we want to avoid spending. It feels a little bit more painful to spend the cash in the wallet. It's easy to spend it, very quick we spend it. However, it's not easy to replenish it, and also after we do spend it, it feels a lot more painful, like I've mentioned. So then, in terms of football, endurance-wise, the next few days, that recovery is longer. So this is very similar to the heavy leg training you might do from shuttle drills and really long duration drills, but high intensity. Quickly your speed drops off, your legs feel heavy, and the next couple of days takes longer to recover. You want to spend very little of your time in this type of training, because it's really only used for worst case scenarios in a game and gives you a little bit of a buffer for the worst case scenarios. Just be cautious of a lot of the drills you'll see on social media, as a lot of them fall into this category. The last category, which is obviously a good one as well, is the credit card analogy. This is now easy to access. We use a credit card to make big purchases, but again, we can't use it too often because you'll end up in debt. And this is very similar to sprint work, plyometrics, power, explosive movements. These are the game-winning moments. Get us to the ball first, but you make a big sprint or you do several sprints in a row, and it's very hard to repeat that high-intensity effort without it decreasing. So the only way we can potentially do that is by having a big salary. So we need to have that salary, we need to have that credit card, and we have to use them in conjunction with each other. But the priority should be making sure that salary is in place first to fund the rest of your training. So here's your football endurance foundations before you even think about the game-specific component of it. This foundation will make the game part feel a lot easier, and your training component, because again, with that good endurance like we spoke about in recovery, a good endurance fitness level will ensure that your recovery becomes quicker as well. Will allow you to train more, train with higher intensity, and play more games. So the three main focuses are your heart function, your maximal aerobic speed, and just your general aerobic fitness. So we want to look at, is your resting heart rate less than 60 beats per minute? And you can measure that over 7 days using a smartwatch. Your maximal aerobic speed, you can do that by doing a 1 mile time trial. Try and get around 5 minutes 45 seconds. Less than that's obviously better. In and around that time is good. Any more than 6 minutes, I would try and spend a little bit more time on that area. And then general aerobic fitness. So do your 1 minute time trial. As soon as the test finishes, look at your heart rate, record your heart rate, and then wait around for 1 or 2 minutes and check to see how long it takes for your heart rate to get from where it finished at the end of the test to when it gets to 130 to 140 beats per minute, and record that time. The goal is 60 seconds or less. Once you've got this in place, everything becomes a little bit easier. So your task is try these aerobic assessments, and I'd love to know what they are, and I can maybe help you a little bit more. And if you want to know further, you can download the assessment.